How you guys doing? This is Zach again. In today's do-it-yourself video, I'm going to show you how to replace the valve cover gasket on your E46 6-cylinder engine. First thing I'm going to do, using a flat-headed screwdriver, is remove the caps that gain access to the bolts that hold the engine cover on. Using a 10mm socket, loosen up the bolts holding the engine cover on. Now using the flathead screwdriver again, remove the retaining clips that hold the ignition coils on. Now remove the plugs on the back of the ignition coils. Now using a 10mm socket, move the retaining bolts holding the coils to the valve cover. Then using an 8mm socket, go ahead and remove this grounding strap. Finally, using a flathead screwdriver, go ahead and remove the tabs holding down the coil pack wires from the rear and the front, and move the coil pack wires out of the way. Remove the coil packs. Make sure to keep these in order. Now with an 8mm, remove the grounding strap from the front and the rear of the valve cover. Now using a deep 10mm socket, remove the 4 center stack bolts. Still using the 10mm deep socket, remove the bolts around the outside perimeter of the valve cover. There's 11 of these in total. Lastly, remove the breather hose from the top of the valve cover and use your flat-headed screwdriver as you pry off the valve cover. The valve cover off. Let's flip it over here. Check out the condition of the old valve cover gasket, and you can see why this thing was leaking. This should be soft, pliable rubber. You can see that over time all the heat has actually turned it into a type of plastic. The trick with the old valve cover gasket here is due to the fact that it's now turned into a plastic, you want to really work at one angle or one spot here on the valve cover gasket, and once you're able to pry underneath and kind of free that up, you can then go ahead and work your way around the outside like this. Went ahead, gave FCP Groton a call, ordered up a new valve cover gasket set, making sure that I align it just as I did before. I put the spark plug gasket set on, make sure it's fully seated. And added some RTV sealant to the peak points of the cylinder head here and the points where the Vanos cover actually meets the head, just because these areas are prone to leakage. I went ahead and did the same thing in the back of the engine as well. Now just take your valve cover, place it back onto the top of the motor. I'm going to make sure that I run all of my O2 sensor wires back into their respective clips. Just replacing all of the nuts with the washers on them around the outside perimeter of the valve cover. Now with the perimeter bolts on, I'm just going to go ahead and crisscross action start to tighten these down by hand. Thanks again for watching. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button below, leave some comments and ask some questions, and I'll see you guys next time.